Hey, I'm James from Smoking Dad Barbecue, and one of the biggest mistakes that I've made in my barbecue, grilling, and smoking quest for backyard perfection is typecasting something like an offset smoker as a one-trick pony. This is one of the reasons I held off on getting one for so long, is I just didn't cook enough brisket or ribs at the time 10 years ago for that to make sense to have a dedicated, purpose-built one-trick pony. But ever since I've got my Gen 2 Huron from Smoke North, I've been blown away at the other things I've been able to pull off, including things like a wood-fired pizza in my Firebox. And this has me wondering, we can do pizza, we can do smoking, what about grilling? So today we're gonna grill up some chicken souvlaki along with some fresh corn on the cob directly in the Firebox. Let me show you how, as well as how we're gonna prep today's chicken souvlaki, which started about 5 hours ago. Okay, our chicken is marinated for now just about 5 hours on the dot. So I'm going to get this onto our trompo accessory that I got sent to me from fogocharcoal.com. But as you can see, after my first use, it is difficult to clean. So I'm going to add a layer of foil on the bottom to make cleanup much easier. Next time we'll take it fast forward. Hopefully that'll do the trick and make my job later on cleaning that up much easier than it was last time. So just going to glove up, and we will now add our chicken to the skewer, just setting our thighs in an alternating pattern. Okay, this looks good. Let's go get it on. Okay, let's take a look at our fire. It's been about 42 minutes since we lit this, and I think we are now burnt down to a perfect looking coal bed. So I'm just gonna push this to the back, rake out our coals here. I've added a couple extra splits up top just in case we need to add any more fuel, that those are drying out and will combust immediately, but I think we're gonna be okay. So again, let me move this all to the back. I'm moving the coals to the back because this is where the air is going to draw. If I were to put them at the front and put our chicken behind it, they're gonna get blasted with what little bit of flame we have left. So the Firebox great accessory from Smoke North can go a couple ways. You can go like this if we wanted to use it in a charcoal basket formation. If we wanted to have sort of a low sear grate, we can go nice and low, or we can flip it up high, which is what I did for the pizza. So we're trying things here. I'm gonna go with the same setup as pizza. Drop it in this upper position so I get a little bit more clearance from the coals below and have the ability to rake those towards the chicken and away from the chicken and give ourselves a little bit more clearance. But the only downside is that may not clear the top. So let me grab our chicken and find out. So, moment of truth. Let's see if it fits. Oh, no problem whatsoever. Actually could stack more than double, if not close to triple that height going all the way out. I know you can't see that, but to the top of our Firebox circle here. So I'll just push the coals a little bit further back, and we will let this cook. So I'll rejoin you about 30-40 minutes when we start checking temperature to see if we are getting ready for our taste test. Okay, our chicken's been on for about 45 minutes, so let me show you what I've been doing since leaving you on camera. So what you can see, what's going on right here is I've pulled our fire. I did end up adding 2 of those splits that I had preheating on top of our Firebox, and that's so that I can get a bit of a flame being drawn out of our chimney, hitting the top part of our chicken. So let me pull this close. So what that's doing is just helping get a little bit of color here on the outside of our chicken without overdoing anything. If I was to take an internal temperature now, see where we're at. So we are nearly there. We're reading about 130 degrees Fahrenheit. So let me put this back towards the back of our Firebox. So the 2 fires that I've been playing with and having a lot of fun is moving our coals around. So if I want to get a little bit of crisping on the outside, which is what we're doing right now, I've got our fire close. The other alternative is moving everything to the back and getting it directly underneath of our chicken. So just finding the sweet spot here. But because we're using such small splits, the temperature gauge on my offset's only reading about 200 degrees Fahrenheit. But as you can see, we've got plenty of live fire flames and a great coal bed just glowing along here. That's going to impart some great flavor. But again, this whole cook, other than the few splits I used to heat soak the pit, has been these 2 pieces of wood, and I am really happy with how that's looking. So I think we are about 5 minutes out, I'm actually going to add another 2 splits in the back, since the second part of today's cook is going to be grilling some corn, and I think I might want just a little bit more of a coal bed than what I have right now. So let me grab those. There we go. We've got our next 2 from up top. I'm going to toss them right in the back, just to again get a couple extra coals that I'll be able to rake around when it's time to grill our corn. See you in a couple minutes once our chicken is reading temperature and we'll be ready to throw on our corn. Okay, it's been a couple more minutes, about 5. Let's see where we're at. So we are coming up just shy of the 155 to 160 degree temperature that I am looking for, because this will carry overcook. In fact, we've continued to climb to 153. So what I'm going to do now is move this to our chamber and drop our grate so that we can grill our corn. Drop in our chicken, putting it nice and close to the firebox, so again we get some of those hot gases just to finish this last little bit of crisping. And move our firebox accessory down to the charcoal grate position. So as you can see here, I've flipped the grate to the next lowest option, as there's just still a little bit too much wood left to burn down into our coal bed. I didn't want to have the corn sitting directly in the fire. Let me go grab the corn. It's been soaking in cold water for the last 4 or 5 hours. So we'll figure out our timing here. Over charcoal, this would normally be about 7 minutes, or until we get sort of a nice complete char on the bottom. So I'm just going to let that char on all sides, grab some tongs, and we'll flip it around. But once we have a nice char, we're starting to lose our soaked husk. That's about the perfect point to flip our corn over to the other side. I'll rejoin you in a couple minutes once these are getting ready to come off for the taste test. All right, let's slice up our chicken while our corn is grilling. I just removed it from the trompo and covered it with a little bit of aluminum foil just to help make sure we don't lose too much heat. But as you can tell, this looks absolutely awesome. Let's get a couple slices off of the skewer here. I wish you had smell-o-vision. The aromas coming off of this are insane. The combination of the bit of the citrus, the lemon, the herbs, the smoke. Oh my goodness. That is going to be good. I think our corn should be about ready to, again, not lose too much heat since it is starting to cool off. Let's cover that back up. Go grab our corn. Well, this looks amazing. Let me just husk this quickly. Hopefully that is still on camera. But if we've done our job right, I should be able to just pull back these charred husks and have some perfectly steamed corn. Let's dive in for a taste test. All right, let's dive into our taste test. So that is an hour and a half total time. So not bad for a weekend or a midweek cook to be able to see if our offset can grow. But before we can answer that question, we actually have to see how it tastes. So I'm going to start with our corn. Since this is new for me, I normally do it over charcoal. We got it right. That's good. Just added a little butter, a little salt. This is mega. All right, we're batting 1,000 so far. Let's try our chicken. I have a little tzatziki on my plate along with some naan bread, but I'm going to try it first, just the chicken, so we can pick up more of that flavor versus mixing everything together. That's exactly what we want. I'm going to add a little bit now with our tzatziki. Maybe get a little piece of our naan bread here. Add a couple of those. We're making a souvlaki wrap. Oh, this is good. Cheers. Wow. Wow is all I can say. And again, we opened this video with wanting to address a misconception that I had, and I know many people have, that something like an offset smoker is that one-trick pony style of grill. But I couldn't have been more wrong in the last year of playing with my Gen 2 Huron by Smoke North. This is so much more versatile than I originally believed it to be. Things like pizza, to now grilling corn and chicken, to of course the things that you would expect like ribs and brisket. This is definitely helping change the preconceptions that I had around what an offset smoker is and isn't. I hope that you enjoyed this one. If you'd like to hang out and ask any questions in a more one-on-one basis, be sure to check out the members only section down below, where I go live with members monthly and can answer questions a little bit more real time than these pre-recorded videos allow me to do. That's it for today though. I'm James from Smoky Dad Barbecue signing off, and remember, don't be afraid to fire it up.